Now we've got the remainder of our award winners, Jet Air Pro, we've got Rahma Al-Riyami, Calvin Lim, and Katarina Komolainen, who could not be here with us physically, but they are watching us virtually, and we will definitely send through their awards to them. Congratulations to all the award winners, and on behalf of Internet 2.0 Conference, we wish you all the best for your future endeavors. Now we're going to move on to our last session of the day, and it is going to be a panel discussion on the topic, The City of Future, Enhancing Quality of Life Through Technology. Can I please call upon stage our panelists, Abdullah Al Asqah, Public Sector Director at BMC Software, Reena Jain, a full-time MBA student from Chicago Booth, and Fayed Yousry, co-founder of Dragon IT Services. A round of applause for our panelists. Thank you very much.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. We are here to talk about the city of the future and how the technology can enhance our experience in living our lives in a daily basis. We can start with introducing ourselves. Myself, I'm Abdullah Al Asqah. I'm the public sector lead for BMC Solution in Saudi Arabia, and we are, as a service management application software, we help of enhancing and contributing from an IoT perspective and monitoring and ticketing system to have the best customer experience of the journey of using technology in the daily activities.
Hello all. Hello all. I am Fayed Yousry, co-founder of Dragon IT Services and Marketing. I'm also the head of technology for Tons. That's an e-commerce, grocery e-commerce application in Kuwait. And I'm happy to be here, and I have served for maybe 7 years in the defense and public safety sectors. And we have always been discussing what's going to be like the cities of the future, and it's great to have the opportunity to discuss it with you all. Will join me soon to the stage, Reena, and oh, here she is.
All right. Hi, everyone. I'm Reena Jain. I'll start with a brief intro. So I'm a chemical engineer, and post that, I worked as an oil field engineer at Schlumberger, where I led a team of 15 to lead oil extraction jobs. Post that, I moved to Universal Aquatech as the VP of Operations and Business Development. Sorry, I just need water. Yeah. Ran all the way here, so apologies for that. Perfect. So, at Universal Aquatech, I manufactured and launched 3 new products. And post that, I wanted to move into the digital product space. So I joined Cedarwood as a VP of products. There, I performed the digital transformation of their 15 brick and mortar establishments. And this was during the pandemic. So took the complete business and the operations online. Post that, I joined Chicago Booth for my MBA. And now I would be heading to McKinsey as a consultant in the tech and operations space. Thanks, over to you. All right. So as a panelist, I would also be moderating this talk. And first, as a part of the city of the future, we will talk about preventive medicine and the effect of technology in the healthcare space. So, one of the most important impact which technology has had is in the healthcare space. For example, in 2020, there were 19 million diagnosed cancer cases. Out of these, there were 10 million deaths. This is more than 50%. And one of the leading causes for this was the late detection and ineffective treatments. Now, this is where technology comes in. With big data and AI, we have been able to detect cancer on the early stages, for example, stage 1 versus stage 3, right? So with early detection and with AI in the personalized medication platform, we have been able to offer more effective cures. And this is where, healthcare has seen a major development. My counterparts here will talk about a few more examples of AR, VR in healthcare.
Yes, from an AI perspective and using technology to enhance healthcare, we have a case that we utilize in the kingdom. We launch an application that centralize all the medical care information in one unit. And we, thank God, we launched it before the pandemic. When the pandemic happened, it became the center interface, and we enhance that application or that gateway to be the access for whole information for the person or any guy who's living in Saudi, from a Saudi citizen or a foreigner, that utilize all the information from a healthcare perspective, from vaccination, from enhanced health issues, and other utilization. And without the technology and reflecting and unifying the healthcare files in one centralized database, let us say, for example, you cannot have this whole information, whole impact. And also, utilizing this technology help the government and the public sector, the region, to utilize the payment from a medication perspective, because usually hospitals and healthcare, what they are taking, they are buying chunks of medication, then at the expiry date, they damage it all. So utilizing this and enhancing the customer experience and the customer journey through technology, it utilizes this a lot. And from there, also now, after the pandemic happened, there are some people that senior citizen, or let us say unaccessed people in remote cities, they cannot access, and they can do things through AR and VR, and we have Fadi can explain more about that details.
Well, in the field of medicine, for instance, a mere few years ago, for a surgeon to be able to do some training for an operation, the only way to do it was getting him an actual human corpse that was dedicated to science, and he could practice there. Now, using virtual reality, all what the surgeon would need is wear a pair of VR glasses and perform the surgery virtually, bringing down the cost and enabling the training of, let's say, one of the surgeons in the Middle East to be trained on the hands of experts in the United Kingdom or the United States. AR and VR will be an integral part of our lives, especially when the younger Gen Z take over, since they are used to dealing with monitors, not dealing with people. They are more, if any of you here have younger siblings or children, they spend more time looking at monitor than spending time with their parents. This could be, should not be perceived as a bad thing, because it could be used in education, and it has been used during the pandemic, during the shutdown, and Reena will talk to us about that. And it is also used to enable people in remote areas to get better access to education, and my colleague Abdullah will tell us more about the experience he has had with that matter. Reena?
Sure. So when I was working in the EdTech organization, and we took it digital, we took it online, we realized two things. Firstly, by taking it remote and by offering remote education, our customer base increased by 100%. And secondly, a factor which we were not planning to address but got addressed in the process was we realized that in tier 3 cities, tier 2 cities of, for example, a country like India, where I was working, there are many students who need special attention because of problems like dyslexia or ADHD. And such special institutions are rare in tier 3 cities. So as a result of that, most of them end up dropping out of education, dropping out of schools, and are unable to complete their education. With remote learning, we were able to provide a solution to it. Like today, even students from tier 3 cities are able to take these classes which cater to the special needs. Fayed Abdullah will talk more about this in detail.
Yeah, so having remote access and utilizing the enhancement, and especially, I do not want to say that the pandemic had for a reason, but the pandemic supported this to enhance the quality of everything in it. So nowadays, from a perspective, most of the people before the pandemic do not utilize the e-commerce, do not utilize the meetings through applications, do not utilize any virtual meetings that's happening. But after the enforcement and what happened in the pandemic, that this transaction happened very quickly, that nowadays, even for multi-city meetings or multi-country, you do not need, usually you have to pack your thing, go book a ticket, reserve a meeting, go meet them face to face. However, nowadays, it's one click away, a Zoom meeting or a WebEx meeting, and it's resolute. And previously, you have to go maybe to multiple locations to meet multiple people. Now you can join them all in one call. And this also enhanced the usage and utilization of time. So previously, in one day, you do 1 or 2 meetings, maximum 3 if the customers or the consumers are nearby. But now you can complete 5 to 6 because you're sitting at your office, in your home, doing everything, and you have easy access for your life. So you have more time for your family, more time for your work, and you utilize every second utilizing the technology. And this is the future that I think maybe 5 or 10 years from now, all the corporation will not have offices. Everyone will be working remotely, and they have only some admin workers in their headquarters. And this affected our, let us say, for example, our mothers, our fathers, and everyone who do not utilize the technology. He was forced in a way or another to utilize it, not only for communication and engaging with with the community, it's also to do e-commerce and purchase information and delivering food, luxury, and whatever. And Fadi can explore more on the e-commerce part of this discussion.
Well, as I have said in my introduction, I work for a grocery delivery company in Kuwait. And during the shutdown, as horrible as it was, our sales actually increased 8-fold. And we have encountered a new segment of customers who usually are used to shopping through brick and mortar stores and have never shopped online before, but they were forced to. And after the pandemic, people liked the convenience of doing their shopping while sitting at home. Of course, due to this, an entire new spectrum of challenges arose when it comes to logistics, since more orders meant more deliveries required more drivers, and we kept on thinking of using new technological means to enhance our delivery service and to reach the peak utilization for our, at the time, very expensive drivers. We utilized AI-driven dispatching and routing software in order to facilitate the grouping of orders and having the driver deliver 30 orders a day. That was our peak, was 31 orders a day instead of an average of 16. However, it doesn't stop there. When you think about it on a city or a countrywide scale, It will give us a whole new spectrum of applications for technology. Here in Dubai, we have Salik. You in Saudi Arabia have Sahir, and Reena will give us some more examples about the use of technology in transportation and making commuting easier.
For sure. So now that we've spoken about logistics, let's talk about commute and how technology is going to make that easier. So we do know that with the rise of self-driving cars in the next few decades, we can consider that as the city of the future. Now, let's talk about the technology behind these self-driving cars. We do trust ourselves when we are driving on the road. We do know that a stop sign means a stop sign. Do you know that when we are on Google and when we are, validating reCAPTCHA to say that we are not a bot, that data is being used to train the AI ML algorithms of, say, for example, Waymo cars. That is how we train it unknowingly as users of Google or as users of internet. And that is where self-driving vehicles use the data from. So now that we know that this is the city of future, Fayed will talk a little bit about the public safety aspect of it and also the data privacy aspect of it.
Well, this is quite a sensitive third rail topic. We have the technology. If we utilize the technology correctly, we can more or less prevent crime altogether. However, this will be quite invasive. I will heed the floor to Abdullah to tell us how we can use technology to enhance public safety. Then I will rebuttal with the data safety concerns.
Yes, from that perspective, utilizing the technology and putting a unified access code, it reduced the fraud of utilizing paperwork and NDBIT that's happening previously. Now, if you need an appointment with a judge, you need an appointment with the police, you need an appointment with any government entity or a public sector entity, you cannot go hit the door and go access. You have to go access through the unified gateway that you have in each country. From there, you have to verify yourself that this is you. Then you kill the fraud perspective. And from there, you have a set of questionnaires that tell you exactly what you need to do to enhance even your journey as a customer or to enhance the service provided to you using automation and AI. So for the last 5 years, the AI and automation perspective, especially in public sector utilization in Saudi Arabia, it reduced a lot of accessing people and crowded people in government entities, that most of your paperwork from baby registration, renewing passports, renewing license, you do not have to go to the government entity. It's one click away through an application and it will be delivered to you at the house. This will enhance, reducing the fraud, enhance the quality of life and giving time back to the people and to the community that they can utilize this information in the right methodology, and giving control even to the government entity to know how many people are accessing, how many people are utilizing, and from there it would reduce the fraud and using the data in the wrong way. So this is the part from a public sector perspective, and this methodology or this enhancement or AI technology now it's have been implemented by other sectors, not only public sector, by groceries, by something. Now, sometimes if you go to a restaurant or something, if you do not have a booking or reserve it online, they will tell you, sorry, come tomorrow and do the booking. That will enhance the AI. And in Saudi now, there you have a little bit of hard time of enhancing and creating a city of your future on an existing infrastructure. So you have two methodologies, even to enhance the people and it will take you time, or to create something from scratch. And we have multiple projects in the region to create a smart city or the city of your future from the scratch, which would enhance the public community. We have two main projects, which is NEOM and The Line, which is another to high intelligent AI cities that will be created from the scratch, and the user experience and using technology in the future in that area will be easier because the infrastructure was built to utilize that. However, in other cities that we are utilizing, you have to use the technology in a gradual methodology. Yes, sorry to say that the pandemic enhanced that experience in a vibe, but we have to keep the momentum and continue utilizing the technology to enhance the quality of life to reach a certain limit that we are targeting. But opening this type of metaverse or this type of technology to the people, it will have some issues from a data privacy perspective and how you can keep your information secure in a methodology. And I think, Fadi, you can take us on a journey there.
Yeah. Up to this point, we were basically discussing existing technologies, and I'll keep on doing that, but I will try to give a foresight of what can happen and the advantages and disadvantages, advantages of utilizing such technologies, because any technology is as good as the person using it. It's always a double-edged weapon. So let's take NPR for example. NPR is number plate recognition software. Number plate recognition, it's well and good when it enhances discipline on the roads. If you overspeed, the camera will capture you and you'll get a ticket, so you won't do it again. However, all these data points are residing somewhere. This entity that has, any entity that has access to the NPR, if I can enter your, the number plate of your vehicle, I can track your movement to each and every location you have been on. Let's take another example for another technology, facial recognition. There are cities like Las Vegas that you have more cameras than you have people. That's an exaggeration, but it's nearly true. So in Vegas, everywhere is surveyed, and facial recognition technology can pinpoint and track Fayed, where did he go and what did he do. The software now can capture your body language and can tell to a great extent of accuracy what you were trying to do. This was a civilian technology that was developed for marketeers. However, it is being utilized by law enforcement. I have always said that Google probably knows about any one of us more than your children, your parents, or even your wife. However, we choose to surrender this kind of information in order to use the technologies that make our life easier. You get this very long end user agreement that tell us, well, in order to use this software for voice over IP calls, you are giving the application mic access. However, you can't really tell the voice segments or the audio segments that are being captured by your own phone, are they being used in order to better the user experience, or is it used as a means of surveillance and every one of us is carrying his very own bug in his own pocket? That's your phone. The use of technology can, with our current existing technology, if you can bring AR, VR, NPR, FR, AI, and numerous other technologies that I will not mention by name, we can basically have, if we can consolidate all these data points, we can have a consolidated profile for each and every citizen in each and every country. It is being done, yet it's being done by marketeers. However, when the cities start relying this heavily on technology, what will be the point where we say, okay, enough is enough, we cannot surrender more data, or we need to know better what and who are accessing this data and to what purposes. We have 16 minutes left. This whole discussion was basically an intro, and we'd like to open the floor to anybody who has any questions or thoughts about how the future in a future city will be like. I heed the floor to the audience. Go ahead.
So you just said something that makes a lot of sense. You said it's the marketeers who are moving the change and like pushing the changes.
Can you raise your voice a bit?
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you said something that makes a lot of sense. It's that the fact that marketing and marketeers are pushing the change. And I think it is because they can show impact better, right? When we are talking about what advancements technology can do, as technical people, it's hard to prove it until it is invested and done and is there. But marketeers can show the impact faster, let's say. How can us, as people who are from the technology side, make these macro impacts that would bring in more fund and kind of bring in the decision-making to the hands of people who can actually think about the logic? You see where I'm going with it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, how can we like rely less on marketing, at least for the main decisions, and then we rely on marketing for the awareness that we have to have, and not for the decision makings or let's say funding.
All right. I would assume that this question was directed to me. So why we need to find out the genesis. Why did this happen? Why was this utilization of technology led by marketeers? It's basically money. The marketing people knew that the technology was there, and we have surrendered a ton or maybe petabytes of data to social media networks that was sitting there. And I always say, if you're not paying, you're the product. You, Shaheen, if you're not paying, you're the product. You use Facebook, you use Instagram, you leave a lot of data points, and these data points need to generate money. So they were willing to invest in order to get that return on investment. Now, they have another edge, is access to data. People would willingly provide tons of data to Google or Facebook, yet they would be more apprehensive to surrender their data to a city authority or a government entity, and they'll start saying Big Brother is watching. So Facebook has, how many pictures do you have on your social media platform? Thousands? Maybe a couple of hundred? Yet, 5 or 6. Okay, you're a very bad example, Shaheen. Other people probably have thousands of pictures of themselves, their pets, and what they eat, correct?
And their friends.
And their friends. Yet, what the government has of you is a single, outdated, probably very ugly picture on your national identification card, correct? So, when we want to do facial recognition, who has a better chance of getting a hit? A software being fed a single picture, or a software being fed thousands of pictures? And any AI needs data sets. Marketeers had access. We willingly gave them access to better data sets. Sometimes it's cool. I mean, if I want to buy something and I can't find it, I simply text somebody over Facebook Messenger asking him about the product name. The very next second, I will get a couple of ads offering that product. This is something I like.
Don't text about it, just talk about it.
Well, you did give them access to your microphone to use Facebook Messenger, didn't you? You agreed to that. Then it's fine. But would you agree to give, let's say, the government access to your phone so they can listen in at any point in time, that would be government overreach, correct? So that's why in this particular case, marketing or revenue generating entities took the lead. They had the data, they had the funds, and they have a lot of investment being pumped in. This is one of the cases where actually the public sector, law enforcement, intelligence, and military are lagging behind the private sector. And some people who work in marketing, we have heard of people resigning from Google when Google started taking military contracts, correct? So this is a sensitive topic, but we have already surrendered our data to the marketeers, and as a marketeer, I thank you very much. Please buy our products.
Yeah, and to add to him now, if you are utilizing, most of us here are not US citizens. So if you are applying for a US visa, they ask for your social media, not only to check upon you, is to have the enhanced pictures and quality of it. And even in Saudi, they are utilizing this. If you are coming for a visit visa, they will access this information, not to check up. They do not have time to go through everyone's Instagram and Facebook. They have an algorithm to take photos, to see who you are sitting with, and they have their own database building. Yes, public sector is late from this point of view. However, we can utilize, and they can reach an agreement with the people who are utilizing our data, and this is happening with the government laws and agreement, digital footprint agreement that everyone is fighting on right now. This will enhance the quality of life, but sometimes surrendering a lot of data, like the breach that happened in Snapchat 1 year ago. Some people are thinking that, no, only me can access photo. No, everyone can see it, but they do not have the encryption of it. So surrendering data sometimes is not healthy enough. However, as you said, you have only 5 or 6 photos. This is on your account, whatever your friend's account. You can utilize a lot of images from there, and you can build something out of it. So I think this is a full answer if you have something to add.
Yeah, I just have one point to add to this, and great points, Abdullah and Fayed, and a good question. I would say that I'm not a marketeer, I'm a techie. So I would say that one way in which we do not give all the control to marketeers, and where we as product owners, product builders, and as techies, we are able to get our product out in the market, would be just to address the pain points of the customers. If they think that their pain point is being met, they will go for your product. For example, in US, when I go to a healthcare provider, they have all my data, all my past medical records, and I do not think that that's a breach of my privacy. Rather, I think that, all right, when I'm in a different city in US, for example, and I don't have my files on me or my medical files on me, it's going to be helpful. They are addressing my pain point of traveling without my files, and they have all the data about me. So I think it just comes down to addressing the pain points, because the end user would be a customer, and if the customer does not find use of your product, he would not go for it no matter how good the marketing is.
And that's a great example. Medical records, being as sensitive as they are, they have their own regulations managing them. In the United States, you have HIPAA.
Yep.
So that's a good example where a paradigm has been reached between insurance companies who care about the money, big pharma who care about the money, yet the government here was able to regulate to keep your data safe and keep businesses going. So that's where the compromise is met. Nobody is overreaching. I hope you have addressed your question. Any other questions? We still have 6 minutes, 30 seconds. Come on, people. Yeah, I think everybody's tired.
I think they moved the coffee machine early today.
I guess so.
Yeah.
Okay, one more call. Any more questions? Thank you for your time.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.